Good evening, folks. I'm Afonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for sharing your beautiful Friday with us. Thank you so much for being here. TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. A lot of big news coming from inside Liberia. A big political twist. Where are we heading? What is the next? What is the next? What is next for the opposition, and how would this be received? These and many more. People are so defiant and definitive of their soundbite. We'll try to give you a conversation, and hopefully we will be talking to as time goes by, not today. But I want to get your take today as well. Tabafonso Z and Salt of the Liberia Public Radio. Stay tuned, and we will get this program going right here now. You kill your mother and they kill your father. You kill your wife and make your children homeless. Oh, yeah. You kill your husband and your children fatherless. Let it go. Let it go. Mama, let it go. Yeah. Papa, let it go. Okay, folks, we want to welcome you. Thank you so much. Let's do a little bit of housekeeping here. Just do us a favor, share the video, wherever you are, and invite someone at your company. And we're going to be having a conversation, a lot mixing up. It's all things considered right here on the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv, all out there to get the pieces and puzzles together and put it to see how we got to this point. What was that a big deal or lesson to learn? Let's go to La Cote d'Ivoire, where our own man, Joe Tengwe, is LPR at Africa Bureau to base, chief base in Abidjan, with this quick program commercial. And I'll be right back. My man is here. The man from the far right. That's the descriptions. Something to always say. He always gives people name. The man from Totan, all right, he always gave people names, so we used to it now. It don't do anything, so we used to it. Just bear with me quick. Let's take the quick commercial break, and I'll be right back.
From the West African nation of Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia Public Radio and Television present Business Diary. This program focuses on the activities of business institutions and individuals in society.
I'm Jeremiah Sawu Senior, CEO of All Nation Bank. It has been very good to have this business established here. We are 1 year since we opened here in Anono. There have been few challenges here that have faced in this country, and that is all about the language. But here instead, I refuse to be deterred. I refuse to be discouraged. I open a business and things have been fine.
My name is Mercy Wangari-Langa. I am a finance officer working for an international organization. I have a master's degree in business administration. So today I'd like to take the opportunity to talk to you about the COVID pandemic and how it has affected the business sector in terms of me working in an organization, an international organization.
Don't miss out. Be my guest. It's coming soon on Liberia Public Radio and Television.
Is taking it unprecedented turn, and is going to get ugly comes the 2023 presidential elections. There were four major political parties came together under the banner of collaboration. Political pundits and others sees this as that it wouldn't have survived. Knowing the history of the collaborations in past years within the Liberian politics, it was just very difficult for one to grab it, to make sense out of it, that these things will have reached this far. Here we come, not even in the middle of the process, the whole thing is torn apart. This is a crazy scenario that have let the electorates down because these collaboration parties were seen as alternative to the CDC. Here we are, is falling apart. One of the collaborators is now being allegedly accused as criminal. Okay, good evening, folks. I am Alfonso Z, and so we're running behind time here. It's a little late here, but it's better late than never. A lot is unfolding, and so we have to catch up with what is going on into this ugly world. Siliki Kamarat, Eknont, and our man Zawot. That's Robert is our prime time valuable listener, and out of you great guy, Thomas. I will try to give recognition here. Joe Grant, walking little by little, coming from Philly, joining this evening. I am Alfonso Zian Salt of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv, rewriting history, eating crow, in the words of Samson told, the long-awaited battle. That's the building you see behind me. That's the overall office of the Republic of Liberia, Executive Mansion, where more than 10 or potential more, it could be more than that number, are seeking for the higher office of the land. They were 4 put together under the banner of collaborations. And some of us have been saying this, the history of collaborations in Liberia is just not good. They don't have a good history. Bad credit. And we knew that they were being a problem. Subliminal messages and conspiracy were being injected into this whole thing, and we know it. But it all started early of August of 2021. When a rare meat was thrown out there and major actors decided to run with it. ALP Benana Yuri, alarmed and accused one of their own, sat around the conference, sat around the table, perhaps came to a political conclusion with a hope to unseat the ruling establishment that the Congress for Democratic Change, CDC, in a tripartite party system as well. The ALP, ANC, the Vermont ruling Unity Party, UP, and Liberty Party came to an understanding, collaboration. That was the key term deployed in their political sojourn with the hope to serve or to position themselves as the alternative to the CDC or to deliver for the people of Liberia. The 4, it narrowed down to 2, where 2 of the political party expressed their political ambition to occupy this building that you see behind me, make it very little bit easy that they could have come to a political compromise to follow the footsteps of the CDC that made it crystal clear that this is what we want. We want a Powerball position, which is the presidency, and we will give whoever the vice presidency. That did not happen. Lack of political tolerance exhibited from all indication to seeing what unfolded in the last couple of months. And we're here today, vindication. I want to take you a little bit back here to see some of the things that happened, so that you will get a sense and how it played out and how it got us here. Conspiracy, well-calculated words were deployed to capture the imaginations of their bases in order for them to pivot in their directions. And one of their own led this champion, and it was get hold of by their missionary, Benana Yuri, announced to the people of Liberia that he was informed by an insider within the election commission that the so-called document some of us frown on because it was divisive. It does not represent the true picture of Liberia. Some of us are blown that blow. We are taking that bull home that it was tampered with. And a letter was sent to then Nyombli Kanga Lawrence, who is the political leader of the opposition Liberty Party. Very long letter. That letter was dated August the 18th. That's where the whole kingdom came down. And we saw how the train began to derail. Let's get some of the soundbite. Let's get some of that. And then we'll come to today's reality. All right. So listen, let me just bring in my man Amos George. I want him to be a true evidence and witness. He knows about this whole thing here to let him hear for himself. Let me bring him in, and then we're going to have some of those soundbite. The man from the far right, Amos George. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. So, and good evening to our good audience.
Okay. So, why is that a board that dropped today, bombshell, or why it is? Finally, we're done with this whole freaking court business. I saw it. It was the most dumbfounded case and ever, for whatever reasons it was deployed, it was orchestrated. I have no idea. Waste of government resources, waste of our precious time, breath. We have been talking something else. But here we are today. The kingdom capsule.
No, it was not. Here's the thing here. Many of knew that there was no case. But I would describe it in twofold. One, Cummings has been vindicated. Two, the Liberian government continue to show the world how incompetent the judicial system is. Because first thing for a crime to be established, there must be an intent or to harm somebody. The Serena Seafor, this man said he a lawyer of the European Union, European Bar, and could not look at a simple case to determine the merit and demerit of that case, to take it to court. Then the worst thing, a case that's just been tried for 30 days will go into the 5th month in a magistrate court. The judge at the magistrate could not even make determination to see the merit and demerit of that case, to say, look, you know what happened? This ain't going on, we don't know. They could not make that determination. The third one, let me add, is the Liberian people that are victims also of this case, because precious resources were wasted for nothing. Whereby that money would have been directed towards something positive in Liberia. So why wasted the time?
Yeah, why wasted? Let's do this here. Let's see where the whole thing came from and who took the bull on to spearhead this this wagon to get us to be where we are, and then we come to the present realities. Let's get this. And this was what October the 11th, 2021. So let's listen here. Hopefully you recognize this tone here.
The Bible says, engage with them. You may not ostracize them, but do not be equally yoked with them, because they do not believe in God. Alice Cummings, you believe Joe Walker to be bad, enemy of the country. Yuri, Yumbly, they are part of the old system that destroyed the country, that has made the country the way it is. You believe all these things. Alice Cummings, why the hell are you with them? My people, why the hell is Alice Cummings in a collaboration with the dirty?
That was the beginning of the whole thing, and it was going to get ugly and ugly. But let's listen to some of it, and then we're going to have a conversation.
Mr. This, Mr. That, why is he equally yoked in the same political organization with the same people who are bad? Why is he with them? Why is Mr. Clean Hands Ellis Cummings engaged with Mr. Corrupt Ure, Corrupt Yombly, Wicked Black Eye? Why is he with them? Let the ANC people answer the question. Hypocrisy. You say they are bad, you are good. Go on your own and sell yourself to the Liberian people on your own. You are so clean. You've got all the damn ideas. Yet you are with them and you want to ride on their freaking popularity to become president. And you sit down there and you tell them that they are dirty, they are nasty, they are the weakest system, they are this, they are that. How the hell can we work with you? The water has been poisoned. There is absolutely no way we can work with this man.
Why are you laughing? You know what? Have you drunk person before? Do you hope to do that?
I don't intend to ever commit suicide. So. Now, first, I don't drink.
These four group of people, they put together, and this letter of May 18 from Benana Ure came out, and later down the road, we are hearing this from the missionary in the propaganda world, try to solidify whether they were trying to ostracize or what they were trying to do. Nobody, we have no idea, but this is what we are doing. The water is being poisoned. But let's get more of this. Let's get more of this. Let's get more of this.
We are all in the CPP. I will get those letters. I will publish them. Yomli Kanga Lawrence wrote Ellis Cummings 2 reminder letters. Mr. Cummings, I'm writing to remind you to please bring the document you said you would bring. 2 weeks. Cummings can reply Yomli. Wait now. I thought Cummings are decent men. I thought Cummings are not criminal. But why can't Cummings just bring the document? Why can't Cummings bring the document? Cummings has not brought the document. Cummings can bring the document. Folks, he can bring it. Youngly has written him 2 reminder letters. Now, I am told she's even considering issuing a statement to that effect. And they should. We demand, folks, that Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence, the current chairperson of the CPP, they need to issue a statement to say that Ellis Cummings has failed to produce the framework agreement. After he promised to produce it the very next day. 2 weeks now, he hasn't brought the document. It's inexcusable, folks. Why hasn't Mr. Cummings brought the document? 2 reminder letters, no document yet. 2 reminder, no document yet. Where is the document, Ellis Cummings? Where is it? The man who has clean hands, the man who is decent, the man who is not corrupt. Where is the document? No. Delvina Code, this is no investigation. Mr. Cummings submitted the framework document. They asked him, Mr. Cummings, to submit the copy to his colleagues. Mr. Cummings just has refused to bring the document. That's it. He just hasn't brought a document. He just doesn't want to bring the document. Now, why? These are the reasons I'm about to tell you. Why is Ellis Cummings refusing to bring the document? Now he's begging his colleagues to forget about the document. He said he ain't got no original copies to give them. Yeah. He said he has no original copies. Where are the original copies? I thought Mr. Cummings had integrity. I thought he was a man who knew how to manage things. I thought he was a man who had, who had good management skills, administrative skills. Where are the copies of the document? Where are the documents for his colleagues? The man can produce a document. We all need to be asking Ellis Cummings to bring the damn document. We are all members of the CPP. We should all go on Facebook and demand. I call on all my supporters, we should go on Facebook every single day and ask Ellis Cummings to produce our document. Then I had document. Then I had parted document. The CPP framework document belongs to all of us. It belongs to all of us. So the man should produce it. Mamala is our document. We all, after this live podcast, we should all go on Facebook and demand from Ellis Cummings that he should produce our framework document. That is what I'm asking all of you. The man is a criminal. He's a damn criminal. He fingered the document. You all were sitting down there and thinking, say, it was...
Welcome. Thank you so much. This is where this whole freaking collapse of the CPP, and I'm not sure whether it will ever be resuscitated. Ben and Europe perfectly lay out the conspiracy theory, throw it out there to their machinery, who is very, good in his own way of getting his talking point. He managed to perfectly persuade his base, was very convincing, to lay out the agenda. Those documents in question, we did not see them. No evidence was produced, despite all these long months and months. And that the document, there was the document was tampered with. He laid out the agenda. He managed to capture the imaginations, putting his good thoughts together. And Liberians, the politics of Liberia is polarized. And so people dive into it, and investigation launched over and over. There were teams set up from inside. It did not happen. Here we are today. But before you get that, this is where, let's see where it lands us today after all these number of months.
And we counsel in this matter. I think there's no need to continue to try because the Supreme Court has told under Article 2 of the 1986 Constitution, the Supreme Court has three powers. It's called the bilateral power and the primary power. That power is to review, interpret, when that declaration is made by the court. Because final effects, no presence in the individual reside on the police primary. If you look at the most contentious issues in the CPP framework document, the original framework document contains law resign. And
I don't want to waste time here. They are saying this here. Okay. That is 360-degree turn point there. That's the Solicitor General of the Republic of Liberia from the initial onset. He went on a sister network. He was very much vehement. He was confident. He felt he had all of the evidence and everything in his control to effectively prosecute this case. There's a change in tone. What the heck is going on?
What the heck is going on is that when people are doing political wish one, envy and jealousy and tribal, it tarnish other people's reputation and character, political assassination of character. These are the individuals today you see in Liberia masquerading, and Serena Sifa is no different from one of them. Because the first thing he should be ashamed of himself, as Solicitor General of the Republic of Liberia, according to a member of the ECOWAS Court, to look at document and make the determination whether this case can go to court or not. And if he could not do that, what an embarrassment and shame to the Liberian government again. Now,
So then yeah, go ahead.
let me address Mr. Costa. Mr. Costa, all the words you're using on Mr. Alexander B. Cummings, all those words come right back to you. The early days of the CDC, you were in bed with George. We are politically receiving money from them. You told the Liberian board that the Itra and Iboma loan was legitimate. that if the Liberian people do not buy into it, he will sell it to the Liberian people, and people don't want to work with George Weah. You will work with George Weah. That is Mr. Costa's integrity that he wants to compare with Mr. Alexander B. Cummings. Mr. Costa, there's no comparison between you and Mr. Alexander B. Cummings when it comes to character. The only thing you have in common with, and we all are, we are human beings and Liberians. But character-wise, you have nothing to compare yourself to Mr. Alexander B. Cummings and throwing those insults at him, which you have no evidence of. That is to show you how some people are envy and jealous of other people's success. Instead of you working towards achieving your own success, but you envy other people. And that is why the tone of your voice, you can see that you are frustrated. And this is absolutely wrong. You have your time, Mr. Costa. You are gifted. Be satisfied with it. But why go to attack other people when you have no evidence? The Joseph Walker, the Benina Ure, the Yomni Kanga, what is the document they ever show you that this man fingered the document, as people call it, or did any changes to that document that was illegal? Where is it today? And I saw him with a shameful post today that the government feels sorry for Mr. Cummings. No, Costa, the government did not feel sorry for Cummings. The government felt sorry for you, Costa, and Joseph Walker, and Benina Ure, and the life of all you people. God, you are the one that
I've not had a chance. I've not had a chance
I saw that post.
Yeah, I've not had a chance to review that post.
He posted that alleged line that the government felt sorry for Islam. No, the government was embarrassed.
So do they trust the justice? I come in, Mr. George. I mean, that's it's sort of weird. So do they believe the justice system now, or is it empathy? Empathy for what? If people are having this bullhorn here that someone is a criminal, first and foremost, I don't want anybody who would be a criminal or who is a criminal to lead the country or to be the head of the country. So what are they saying? Is that a political correctness? What are they saying? Are they not challenging? Where the challenge is going to go now, because it came from the higher court of the land. So are they saying why the government feels sorry for Cummings?
That was Mr. Costa post. But as you know, he's the guy.
Where is Joseph Boyka? Where is Benona Ure? Where is something to friend Yombli Kanga Lawrence?
No, Costa is the spokesman for Joseph Boyka. It is Yombli Kanga and Benona Ure. Because what he said is what they follow. His word is law and gospel. But these people, I'm listening, they have no claim. They have no claim. So the only thing they have to do is to accept what the Supreme Court said. And the Solicitor General made it clear. There's no claim, no case. He cannot continue the case. Because from the initial, there were no facts. They could not raise the issue. But because you heard Costa saying, Mr. Clean, because they feel that this man has made himself a reputation in the corporate world, so that where the petty and envy jealousy is coming from. Mr. Costa has just stated, or this man who profess to be Mr. Clean. So it like they wanted something to think this man's character. And no other way they would have done it by coming with a fictitious document or case to lie on this man. That's the only way they would have done it. Secondly, they were afraid, or they are afraid of the democracy, the process. The democratic process, they are afraid of a primary. So what they did now was, hey, we got to find something to destroy this man. And secondly, the Blair report in Akron, only cut this book case. Because when that report was published, after everybody had it, most people say it was not.
That was done. Nobody, there was no reaction. They never reacted to it.
But other people say, oh, the report was not detailed or was not factual. But these people were only trying to authenticate a document. They didn't have to talk to all this. So Boyka said they never had a copy of the document. Yombli Kanga said they never had a copy. Benina Ure said they never had a copy. So what you will get from these people? If these people sat down there as level-headed, as educated, as intelligent people, and they allow Mr. Cummings to take control of all the documents from then, and they sat down surprised That is to tell you, these people who want state power, how they're going to run the country. If that is the argument, how they're going to run the country. So they didn't have nothing to prove. But all they were doing, as long as Serena Seaforth said he got 30 some more witnesses to line up to come and testify. Come on. We know all the tricks, we know all the gimmicks. Serena Seaforth and the government and the left of Joseph Barker then. But that's why I said this is a shame on them. Because now it tells the Liberian people, this man that they falsely accused, everything they did was a plot to destroy this man, character-wise, and his integrity around the world. And some of us don't have that integrity. We are not working in those corporate world to claim the lie to reach that point. And just to get up one day, few group of people say, oh, we're going to destroy this person because they have a political ambition or they have a political philosophy that we don't agree with. So therefore, we will destroy him. Look at Costa was. He said he Mr. Clean among the people. But Costa, you may not like Alexander Cummings, but his record is out there. It's out there in the public. Look at Benina Ure. Well, compare his record. Boakai, look at his record. Yomni Kaka, look at her record. These people, all their records are open.
Yeah, okay.
So you can look at it and compare.
The damage is being done. What would be the next step of the CPP if it is alive, still alive? Let's try to figure out here. Because just before coming on air, I was told that Mayor Cummings was in conference with some of his close insider. What could potentially be the next move of Alexander Cummings and the ANC?
Oh, I mean, the Supreme Court had this rule already. So what Benina Ure, Boaka, Yomlikana could not get, they have been given the Congress Supreme Court, so they are free now to do anything. So they can leave the CPP, they can go on their own now. That's it. That's the Supreme Court ruling that they can go now. So there's nothing now to tie anybody. But instead of them done now within the organization or even before taking
this sort of red meat or soundbite that have been there at CDC, that was not CDC. That was a self-destruction within their very groups. That was not CDC. All of the conspiracy and everything that's been talking about, that was not CDC creation. That was their own creation. Now, how will Serena Seaforth, who is the Solicitor General, because he cooperated until the case comes before him, but from the onset, he went and announced that he has everything to his advantage, everything was in his possession to effectively prosecute this case. In fact, he adjudicated Cummings before the case even started. And he came back to this with this sort of pronouncement. What does that tell us as well?
But that's what I'm saying. The inability of the government to try a case fairly. This is one, when people say the system, that people are incompetent, this is it.
So is it fair to say they lie on the government? The government has nothing to do with this.
No, Mr. So the government has
there will be some other political implication. Obviously, I mean, it's a contested, it will be a contentious election. So nobody who is an incumbent will want a main challenger. So if this group, the opposition, because they were just not organized, no focus, they decided to created their own problem. Of course, GOL or the opponent will capitalize on it to do that.
Yeah, but Mr. So here's the thing here. And this is why the government become part of the case. Because they too, even though the opposition brought the case, but the government has a responsibility because it's dispensing justice transparently. So if you are not careful, this is what they got tied up in. Because Serena Seaforth, he's the chief the Solicitor General. He would look at the case and say, hey, there could be a trap. What I see here, I don't see no case. So you go. But what he did, he played a government hand in it. He took it and ran with it and said, hey, there's a referee, there's a crime being,
Do
there's a crime being
do you think that was a unilateral decision by himself?
I mean, that's the governor of Liberia decision.
No, for Serena Seaforth as
no, it was not a unilateral decision. Serena Seaforth doesn't work for himself. He worked for the Republic of Liberia. He worked for the Republic of Liberia. Who paid the lawyers? It's the Republic of Liberia. It's not Serena Seaforth paying lawyers. The money is coming from GOF, a coffer. So that was a decision that the government took. I can't let them up the whole. It was a decision that they took because they had the opportunity to determine this case, it has a merit, or the case there's no merit. So we cannot take this case, people. But what he did, he came on radio, on TV, and said he had preponderance of evidence to prosecute Alexander Cummings. In fact, many times he did not use the word alleged. He said Alexander Cummings is guilty, he's a criminal. He's on tape. Now, if the chief prosecutor of Liberia, the Solicitor General, is saying that about a case that he had not gone to court, but in his paper determined already that the accused person is guilty, what does speak of the government? So this is the part that they got caught up in this case. Because he even went in fact to set the penalty, the punishment for Mr. Cummings, that Mr. Cummings will be found guilty and he will take him to go teach first grade or the strip. Those were the words of the Serena Seaforth, the chief prosecuting person of the Republic of Liberia. Now, how can you say this man?
We are not hearing there was a high-profile meeting held during the course of this week. A big high-profile. We yet to get the details of that, but the solicitor, the SG, was there, and that meeting, according to sources or folks that are familiar with that, it took place at the home of the chief body to the president. What possibly could be that at the end of the day to see what is it? They convinced that there was nothing to further pursue this case, and so there was no any other option to say, hey, you know what? We can't waste our time on this yet. We need to focus. We need to start being distracted because the distraction were too much.
Here's the thing, and yesterday I was listening to some network and somebody was speaking there, but I don't even want to. They said that we don't trust our own system. We all want to bring in foreigner, like we trying to denigrate our system. But look at this case, Mr. So. Congressman signed a long time that this case was trumped up. From the United States, Congressman said this case was trumped up against Alexander Cummings. Then Cummings went to the Blair people. They came up with their own funding, which was not planning on the Liberian government to do. But if these credible institutions come in to say, hey, we're not recommending to you, but this man from our investigation, he's clean. He didn't do anything wrong. Congressman from America saying the case was trumped up. Those are whistles that sound at the hearing. Then in Liberia itself, they go to court, they find it difficult to present evidence to convince the people that this man committed a crime. So
do you think that report from the Blair group was, do you think that changed the narrative where we find ourselves today?
You may not agree. Some people, I would say that they may not agree with the mentor or whatever, but that case definitely has some impact on this case. It didn't recommend to them, hey, through this case, they just said, based on what they see, there was nothing. So the government had the option not to listen to them, to say, hey, Serena Seaforth had the option to go to court and say, you know what, we have the evidence. That's why those people report, we will go ahead and prosecute to convince them. So we'll prosecute and we'll put the facts out there so they can compare it. But it was nowhere. So I would say indirectly, yeah, it has some influence on that decision of the court. Because it proven that Serena Seaforth had nothing to convince the court, the lower court, that, hey, these are the documents to show that this man did this act. There was nothing there. So I believe it had an impact. And remember, Mr. Cummings said something like on one of the interviews. He said the ECOWAS ambassador was asking, why are they wasting their time on this kind of issue instead of focusing on the bigger issue? So all the voices being played out in Liberia, and they can hear, they got people who tell them, hey, you listen to this thing. So this is a lot. If Serena Sifa could not go to court directly to say, hey, you know what happened? There's no case there. Because then it would have been more, even worse. So they say, look, let some people just rule. When they get a ruling, then we just say, hey, that's it. And this is exactly what we're waiting for, to get out of it.
Now, the key question now, can the ANC or the ANC folks, can they capitalize on this and change the narrative and find their tone? Because there has been, it was a long-time distraction to the ANC, the standard bearer, because I'm sure they were putting some sort of contingency plan together to not knowing where they are. But he was very much confident for every time he appears on the network where he said, well, at the end of the day, we'll be vindicated. We didn't do anything wrong, even though he was indicted, he was adjudicated. And can they capitalize on today's decision from the Supreme Court and fine-tune their language and begin to effectively communicate with the electors, the Liberian people, to see him, or does he have the ability to do that?
I don't know, but I think this is where the focus should turn at. So if I were directly involved with that camp, this is the time that I would take on the Benin Ayure to Joseph Walker. This is the time that I would direct the campaign towards them. Because I will push them.
Joseph Boyka is not a president. Benin Ayure is not a president.
No, you sandwich everybody. President Where is the one you're going after, but Joseph Boyka, then you and them now, because the glove is off. They are the one who accuse you of being criminal, alleged criminal. And they have a record and they have to defend. President Where has a record, you have to defend. So you take on every one of them.
How can he have a multiple front like that? Because he should position himself to be the persuasive guy now, to be the gentle guy, to be the organized guy, to one who might look presidential. Because the other people, they acted like a toddler, they acted like a young babies already. Does he need to go in that gutter as well?
No, it's not gutter. You just putting on the facts. If you want to say something nasty about someone that they didn't do, then I suppose got to go in the gutter. But Benin Ayure, his record is there. It's there. Just play his own thing. And that's why I say, Mr. Costa, we need to be playing his own voice just like we did. When he called Joseph Boyka, or old car waiting, old man waiting, walking dead. He called him an egoistic travel old man, travelistic old man. Those are his words. People just need to play it so he can defend it. This guy, that's what need to be done to him. So play the tape of Mr. Costa, let him answer those questions. When he was referring to Joseph Boyka, this old man cannot leave Liberia. He has no idea. Those are Mr. Costa's own words. So we need to play this thing so Mr. Costa can know that what he said yesterday, he cannot come back to just jump. These are the things that
what could possibly be Cummings' reactions? Will there be some sort of will he vent something against these people? Can he sit with them again around the table to say, let's be bygone? Is that something you think his advisors or folks around him, is that something you think they're going to advise him to do?
Here's the thing. I think Mr. Cummings can talk to anybody. But I think one caveat here is that we want things to change in Liberia. We put things on paper and we don't live up to it. And we have to change that kind of way of doing things. Cummings can say with any people, but supposing the pre-condition is, yeah, we can do anything. But if anything, let us conduct a primary. Let the people see that we're trying to build a system. But that is the caveat. Boyka, Yomi Kanga, I'm talking about Yomi Kanga. Boyka don't want any competition. He just want to say, oh man, yeah, this is it, take it. And that's
going to position him. And I can't wait, because I've been trying to get to the ANC folks, and now the dust is settled. Because we spoke in the past and he said, you know, I don't want to go into this case, let it play out. I don't want to say anything until. So now hopefully it's over. We'll try to reach out again to see whether we can have a conversation. Will he be like a big guy now with pants on him to say, you know what, things happen in politics. There is a need. We can still build a united front. We have one person we are taking on, and that's this incumbent president and the CDC-led government. Is that sort of tone that will we be hearing from him most likely?
Yeah, he said, I think one of the interview I was on, he said, the accent, he said, look, if Mr. Ure goes to court and drop the case, who can talk? He said it before. So, but the issue is this case, it is a lesson for every Liberian now, politician or whoever, that whenever you are going to any kind of business, a contract, whatever, you have to read those lines line by line to know what is in it. Because many times we go into them, we are not sincere. You heard about what is called core group that been in our Ure, the other group on it, why they were trying to work against Cummings, and they pretend that they are all
why all of these things were deployed? How possibly why it was done? Why they couldn't put in time to strategize and be able to take on the ruling establishment instead of taking on one of their own in such a context?
Because Benina Ure wants to ride on the back of Joseph Walker, wants to protect his business interests. So the only alternative he has is to support someone who will listen to him, and he become like an advisor to that person. And that person no other than Joseph Walker. So this is why Benina Ure has always been along the side of Joseph Walker. You see, when they have a meeting, whisper here, this and that. Why did not? Because Benina Ure, the Liberian people had told him that he cannot be president because of his character, the role he played in the war. Okay? So the only thing he has to look for somebody that he can rely on. And who do we find out to hang on? It's Joseph Walker Court. And Honorable Walker is not looking at a man as a liability, but Mr. Walker is looking at a man as an asset. I don't know what making an asset. Because he cannot win.
To say that we can anticipate some sort of a statement coming from the ambassador, or maybe the Senator Kanga. Do you think they're going to give an official statement regarding this decision by the court to move ahead? Would they call on their supporters? Because there's a lot of stigma, names calling being involved. It's been really, really bitter, and the resentment now, the resentment into this whole thing here is just over the roof. Do these people have the courage to come back to say, you know what, and maybe communicate with their supporters to say, hey, this is where everything is over now. We need to move in this direction. Can they do that?
I don't want to prejudge them, but from what I see from them, I don't think they have the political will. Because here's the thing here. Look at Senator Dillon. He that Musa Belida supported. Every time up to this time he go on radio, he called Musa Belida a criminal. This man who gave you a help, personal help. I mean, people can have differences.
He ever deny of because Musa said what, 20,000, 20K?
He never denied.
He ever spoke? He ever goes to that?
He never denied. He never denied it. That is to take the kind of people we're dealing with. Yes, you and the man can have political disagreement, but you continue to call him a BM, and the man supported you. He was criminal. He was petty criminal. He did. Now, when you do like that, how can you reconcile? I mean, you can say, look, I disagree with the man. What he did was wrong. That's fine. But when you are in the constant habit going on public program and calling this person a criminal, a BM, and this, what is the room you're leaving tomorrow for reconciliation? And Yomli can, because, I mean, let me go down a little bit. This tribal thing, she had not been able to say, Dillon, hey, look at the rhetoric. We are all from the same party. No. She still said that, and listen to Dillon calling this man all names. And she don't say a word. These are kind of things that you look at people. Yeah, Mr. Cummings and Omen Morgan, some of these things, they are not really going to throw hard words against one another. He has saying, yeah, he's surprised that this and that. And one of the things I said, I was surprised Ambassador Boycott to go to even testify. He would have just choose to say, you know what, man? I'm pleading the fifth. I'm not testifying. So those people were not dragging to court. But he went to court. That record is there. The person that is your best friend. You went to court to testify against him, which the case has no merit. Just because you are just saying, you know what, I'm still out of it. But because the influence that Benny Nigeria and Mr. Costa then got over him morally, he had to go.
Let's take a quick break and get a glass of water too. We'll be right back. I'm Afonso Zienso.
There are 5 priorities we have, and we call that the what's. And then there are 5 things we call the how we'll do it. And those priorities are as follows. Our first priority is infrastructure. Simply put, it's electricity, it's roads, it's water, and it's internet and cell phone connectivity across Liberia. We have to invest in infrastructure. That is the top priority. That's the basis on which we can and will do everything else. The second priority for us is job creation. There are too many unemployed, underemployed, and unemployable Liberians. The unemployment rate is over 85%. And therefore, job creation is our next priority, creating jobs for the Liberian people. Our next priority is agriculture. We are a country that do not fear ourselves. These are things we can do for ourselves. We should be producing rice to feed ourselves. And my commitment is that by the end of my first term in office, we will be self-sufficient in rice production. And within education, we're focused on vocational training, teachers training, and adult education. But we have to educate our young people because, again, that's how we can help them create jobs. That's how we can train farmers. And so these things are all linked together. And our final priority in terms of the what's is health. Because you can have good infrastructure, you can have a good job, you can feed yourself, you can have great education, but if you don't have your health, it doesn't matter. And so health is our 5th priority, and there we're focused on primary health care and preventive health care. So those are the what's we'll do for our people, for the Liberian people.
You've worked for months to bring your or your client's event to life, but unfortunately, the world had another plan. In reality, the only thing you lost is the venue. We take your vision for hosting a virtual conference and bring it to life online. No matter how complex your agenda is, we produce a smooth, engaging experience. Call the Liberia Public Radio today and schedule your event. Our number is 682-433-8802. If you prefer to submit your request via email, please send the request to liberiapublicradio2012@gmail.com. Our staff are standing by waiting for your phone call.
Okay, there's a commercial there. There you commercial there from friends and supporters of ANC. So what about where you find yourself? If you want us to advertise and get your message raw here, just reach out to. By the way, getting news here. One of the presidential hopeful. Let me get to the message here quickly. One of the presidential hopeful, Councillor Twawant Ganglo. Tentatively, we have come to a date. Will be appearing here on Liberia Public Radio. Yeah, that will be tentatively June 15. June 15th, he will be here if it doesn't cancel. Remember, I was in Liberia, was to sit with him in an exclusive, and it didn't work out. So he will be appearing on LPR here, his team. We are hearing there's a big fundraiser or a big gathering is in the making in Minnesota. Now, interestingly, the CPP, I'm not sure what they're going to hold. It's not a close for confederation. There are tons of political party. You have DAL, Democratic Alliance, another wing of the Rainbow Coalition or Rainbow Alliance, broke into 2 or 3, 4 parts. Professor Larry Toba. We'll be having Dr. Chris Dube Nyaye. Their hair is giving support to United Party Ambassador Jose Newman Boyka. And like I said, their agreement is not, in fact, right now, I'm not sure what it is. We can still call it CPP or whatever it is. So everybody going to be, hopefully, everybody most likely going to be finding their way to find these little parties and get back on base. Looking at what is unfolding right now, who does it advantage? You look at the Cummings side and you look at what is happening from the Boyka side. It seems that the old guy is now has become the smaller one. The smaller one is becoming the big one here in this case. Who does this advantage? How effective can the ANC people maintain this sort of lead to cleverly have a honest conversation with the Liberian people? Can he come in? Is he able to do that? So can will it make this whole case here? Will it make him likable? I don't know what you consider that in our electoral process. Would they see a different side of him to say, "Oh, we thought this guy was this that"? Does he have that ability to create that conversation? I know he's a guy who can talk, and he's very calculated, very careful in his talk. He got good choices of words in terms of how you throw them out there, which of course is good. But even his supporters, surrogate, can they do that thing, and can he champion that to to change the conversation completely?
Yeah, I mean, this is not a challenge for them because they can go out and tell the Liberian people, "Hey, you saw what we told you about this man," and you see example. What they were trying to drag into the mud at the end of the day, they couldn't find anything. So that could be applause for them to the Liberian people. But again, it left with them how forceful will it be engaging the electors of Liberia, making a case.
So he will find himself like a piece of cloth between the seas. So he has some of his supporters, some of his surrogates, they're on Facebook preaching his soundbite, talking a lot of stuff about him, and some of them they vehemently disagree with he aligned with Boyka Yuri, like Moni Kishen. I had to call him, but we don't have anything to hide yet. Now Kishen, they're gonna take their trumpet. He been saying it, he been talking it. But would they be conciliatory in terms of men, those political fans together to say, okay, you know what has happened here? Because some of them have been saying, most of them, they never wanted Cummings to be part of it. Cummings on the other side is suffering from having this sort of political indecisiveness because in the last time around, when he told his folks to make their own, to lead, for their conscience to lead them where they want to go, who they want to go to, he took a hit for that, oh, he was not giving his support. And so he was very careful, coming to this whole CPP and seeing what is happening right now. Can he still do business with those guys? Can they be trusted?
Look, I can tell you, Mr. So that you can't rule anything out in politics. But what I will tell you is that on both sides, some of these people need to tone down this rhetoric. They need to tone it down on both sides. The Boyka camp and the Cummings camp. Some of the people there, they go too far in the French. So these things need to be toned down because politics, anything can happen. It is not about the individual. It is about the country. And the reason, let me be honest, I was one of those who opposed Mr. Cummings aligning himself with Joseph Boyka.
Why you?
Mr. So I saw this from day one on tape. From the day they announced the CPP, and I one of those who said Benina Euro was going to be the trouble because in this, and you asked many times, I say, watch Benina Euro. He will cause the trouble in this land they are planning. And exactly it came to fruition. Because sometimes you get to know people, you see people, someone knows many people, and look at the track record. And that was someone saying no. But again, because the way Liberia is settled, right now, no one political party can win 50+1 upright election. No, they have to put together. And that is why I'm saying both sides need to tone down this rhetoric. And sometimes just cut some people off from your campaign and say, no, happy, you going this way, then just go your way. Because this is not what I want to see, or this is not what we want to see. But that is the problem with these politicians. Can Joseph Walker look at Mr. Costa and say, look, Costa, no, if you continue this way, then I will distance myself from you? No. And I want John Lopo now to come and tell the document that he has in his possession. Because these are the young people we're looking at to lead Liberia. And they will buy into something that they know there's no reality in it. But because they're supporting someone, they want to ride on somebody back, they will take it to make it true, to sell to the Liberian people. So now, what can they say about the court today? The chief prosecutor, Serena Silva, saying, hey, I'm leaving the case. Now, what can they say? What are the documents that they got?
Would the ANC and Alexander Cummings find his voice to get back on track and say, you know what? I'm not going to focus, I'm not going to waste my time to talk about what has happened in the past. We need to start going in the future. Will we see that out of him?
That's why.
And I think I had, in the first interview I had with him, our privilege, I talked to him again. Now, there seems to be a good political temperament and stability within that. You don't see him getting angry, or maybe if he gets angry, it's within, it's not exposed, it's not a kind of outburst. So do you think he's gonna come speaking out against this whole thing here, or just gonna take a one shot and let it go? I can't wait to have this guy here. We're gonna do everything possible to get him here.
He will always speak on it. And let me tell you how he will address it. Because this is something he cannot avoid on the campaign trail. Reporter will continue to ask him to get his response. He will answer this question over 100 times or 1,000 times as long he's out there. How do he feel? And I guess the answer will be, you see the results speak for itself. That's all he will tell people. That these people lie on me, and you can see what the outcome. And this is what I have been seeing all along. And that would just be his answer. That these people wanted to tarnish my reputation, to lie on me, and now you can see what happened. Go all along, we said we did not do nothing wrong, and they were here jumping here. So he will all that, and that will be an answer. Refer to, you see what the court said, what the chief prosecutor said, that he dropped the case. So what do you want from me? But it's just to tell the Liberian people that I am not the person that is.
I have to do that, but let me just educate people here, because some people they're so lazy and they are not far-sighted. I hate to do that, but I call people. That's why I don't entertain sort of. If you don't understand Miata, whether the man Miata or woman Miata, because you people use a lot of fictitious name, the communication language is different from what if you think you know. If you don't understand, for God's sake, ask a question. You didn't even hear. I'm asking, will he find his voice? You're talking about his voice loss. You don't even know what I'm talking about. Cummings has been you are lost. You just follow people and you follow them. And for here, we don't entertain here. Cummings has been distracted. If you don't know that, this case is a distraction. He can't talk about his agenda. There's some sort of high sense of liberty is being seized. So if I'm talking about finding his voice, whether he will return to baseline and focus on those things that Liberia wants to hear.
You talk about his policy.
What kind of question did Kuma lost his voice? I'm not saying I don't say, oh my God, you know, I'm not going to focus, because some of these people, they just waste people's time. This is why every podcast they tune to it. You need to listen to language. You need to listen when people are talking.
The word is in the context of Alexander B. Cummings' policy, because the longer time he had
talking about,
he was not
be screaming and then he get hoarse. He can't talk. No, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Did Alexander Cummings lost his voice? Well, we have to do this before, because we want people come here to learn, and we learn from you. But sometimes if you bring these sort of you think you want to take a shot at people, then I'm not a guy who can also drop by. I will come strong at you. All right, there are being a big distraction. We are not talking about what these people represent. They are not telling us, because they brought us stupid, useless, and baseless allegations that was created, that was orchestrated with subliminal falsehood. And some of them, because they are so drowned in these politicians and so much believe in them, they have confidence in them more than themselves, they are causing harm for all of us. And this is why we are having this sort of conversation. And that's what Liberian people needs to know. I don't care you support Cummings, CDC, this and that. Who cares? I don't need anything from those people. And that's why, because some of you blindly support these people, you're unable to tell them what is right for the good of the country. So when you're carried in, as soon as they get to the finishing line, they get to this building behind me, then all your car windshields, they will be tinted, and only you see the tire rolling. And then you start crying, baby cry, knowing what I know. I didn't know he was going to be there. I didn't expect it. Yes, because you did not ask questions. Everything he or she said was true to you, or was rosy. So you didn't ask. And that's the problem we are having today.
Yes.
And the reason I want to talk to Cummings, because I'm seeing some sort of agenda he put forward that we can hold him accountable. I want to know how the job creation going to be doing. I want to get a sense of his government. What sort of cabinet ministers will be in the Cummings presidency if he's elected president of the Republic of Liberia? How will loyalty influence his friends, influence governance, send them to MPA, Lpr-Tv, one of the gateway to the country's economy, the Freeport of, not Freeport, RIA, and all of that. We need to start getting a little picture of the representation, the governing structure of these people. Who's their economic or foreign policy advisor? They are still there. They don't go on these big cable network. I don't see them on CBS, NBC. I don't see them on Al Jazeera. I don't see them traveling to the European Union, even the ECOWAS within our proximity, to talk about Liberia, some of the challenges I face in Liberia. And you don't even encourage them to do so. But you listen to all sort of stuff, and then, because some of these careless decisions, action, throw us into things that we find ourselves in. And those are things we are trying to avoid. Go ahead, Pa George.
Yeah, and let me say this to some of these people. Politically, when people are talking, some of the jargons are different.
The English language is in so many forms. When you're a biology student, whatever you say in biology is not equivalent. It's not equilibrium to a person who is in the communication. There's a uniqueness in this whole English language, but very few people grab that. So I might say something here. You gotta take a deep breath and know exactly what I'm saying in the real world.
Yes, but these people sometimes, and it is this blind loyalty to politicians that here's my own soul. I will not ask a tough question, or I won't want anybody to ask him or to say anything tough about him or to criticize him. I will not like it. But the thing here is, we've been down the road before, and we know what it's doing to us. 2017, when people were talking about debate, Joe Biasi wasn't taking part, and people applauded him. Oh yeah, he doesn't need.
Because Liberian people not even find interest in doing that.
But they failed to
They not
know.
call for it, and they're still not even sober to that, Mr. Pajoy.
Yes, they failed to know that during the debate, you will get a sense of person, temperament, how they think, where they want to take the country, who are some of the people that they relate to that will bring it around, and you get to know these things.
Of course.
But people say, well, okay.
A silent debate on the work in this country, it changed the minds of the voters because it focuses on the issues. People are going to do a survey, what matters to the people, what they see as a priority, what is, things that put food on their table.
Yeah. Here's the thing here. If you say you're going to improve the health sector of Liberia, I want to know which part of the budget you're going to take money from to put in an area to improve that.
I think that's what yes. Let's go say me after that female. All right, me after that leader here. Anybody can use anything. We know why it's on Facebook, my dear. Let's go ahead.
Yeah. And if you say you're going to improve education, or like $40 billion, we want to know where you're going to get extra money from. What area you're going to cut to put that money to give you what you want in that area, in that sector. That will give the voters an idea of your economic policy, how you're going to do what you are saying. You're going to create jobs. How are you going to create jobs? What are incentive you're going to provide for foreign investors to come? These things must be asked the people. Let they explain.
I'm going to continue. All the 1,000 people that are wearing red barrel, green barrel, black barrel, if they become president, what becomes of them? Are they going to increase the size of government as well? Because these people are jumping, sweating all day, shouting, chanting, advocates, commentators. They're looking for a job. They want a job. And it's good to get a job. It's good to work for your country. What matters is that your honesty that you are taking into that, the authenticity, the genuineness of changing things. That's what matters. They're not doing it for nothing. Who's going to be screaming all year? Oh, and I want job. I'm doing it for the laboratory. Nobody doing anything for me. Nobody's screaming for me. I can scream enough for myself.
Yes, yeah. It's quite amazing. Today I had the opportunity to see, I think, 5 or 10 minutes of a podcast. And that lady is in Europe. She was a strong supporter of CDC. And they were asking her job creation. They said that everybody business, people doing business, this and that. And I said, oh, okay, I see. If the government for small, don't believe government cannot be the largest employer in the country. No. It's the private sector that will serve as the engine to create jobs. But in doing so, the government must provide
would lay down that foundation, create that smooth avenue for growth of
the government must create the avenue. One, some of the thing is making loan available to those who will be able to create jobs. Low interest rate. That money must be available to the people to make sure those who want to invest can invest. Security. That is, if someone goes to court, they sue someone want to try to defraud them, how that case adjudicated? Will that person get full redress? All this in here. Traveling. The electricity. Because if that electricity is so high, people cannot make any good investment running generator. No, it's too costly.
A lot of entrepreneur people that are doing small businesses is strangulating because you have a woman that's doing fish business.
Yes,
and be buying ice generator now. Even can produce adequate ice. The electricity is not.
So when this will come on, and we're answering these questions, they will tell, oh, look, I will do this to arrive at this point. But no, the Liberian people, when they elect, they say no debate, not just vote in. Now, how can you go back to hold this person for anything? They didn't promise you anything. They did not promise you anything.
You didn't even ask them as to why they even want that position. So
Yes.
they are not up when they are elected. They are not obligated to you. You never ask them. You never dialogue with them.
Yeah.
You know.
You want to ask Mr. Cummings, what make you think that he will be better than George Weah? You want to ask Oman Barker, what make you think that he will do better than George Weah, or he will do better than Mr. Cummings? What are the records? We want those people to talk to us.
What kind of police director will you have when you were?
Yes. How are you going to fight crimes? How are you going to fight crime? How are you going to fight the inflation? How are you going to provide water for the people? Today, Morelia people hardly had drinking water. 5 years ago now. The government said now we'll try. And I'll tell someone, why they go out there to beg? Why they cannot beg to overhaul the sewage system of Liberia? Just Morovia alone. You know how many persons will be put to work? Since 1989, the sewage system in Liberia has not been in use. That way,
why his name said, Precious, what a good one. Look, when I was going to Liberia, I called Minister Mangi, if it is possible to say with the president. Mangi told me I should send question. I told him I wasn't going to do it. Joseph Boyka, Ambassador Boyka, has his own people, his own surrogate, people that, unfortunately, that's the problem. That's the challenge that we have. They have their own outlet. Of course, it's good to have your own outlet. But what they do not know in politics, if I am for you or if you are for this person, why you waste your time? Go somewhere where you're going to win votes. Go somewhere where you're going to change the story. Go somewhere where people are going to see a different side of you. But a Liberian politician, my brother, if I'm supporting CDC people will come right here. I shouldn't say anything against, or I shouldn't express my view, my opinion. I would love to have them. We are still reaching out to them. But for sure, I know Cummings, Mr. Cummings is going to come back here because he has shown up. He told all after this whole case. So the whole case now is a cartoon now. You're going in there, see. I want to have, there are questions people have not even asked Ambassador Boyka. I'm not going to have, it's not going to be an oatmeal to kind of feed him like a young baby. No, and be calling it. No, they are real good questions from the past to the present and to the future. Those are things we're gonna hopefully when we have them. But hopefully they will be here. We want comments, all of them for that. Not even all of them, those who even want to be senator, representative, all of that. The three branches of government, they work simultaneously with different functions and responsibilities, and they have to coordinate. So if the executive working and the legislature is not working and the judiciary is not working, the government still is paralyzed because nothing good going to be done. When a judicial system, when cases are on the docket over and over and they cannot be investigated and people can be convicted, people can be adjudicated and all of that, then still people still going to cry foul. This is why it's important, these people here, in as much you people support them, for us to have a conversation. Everybody say Patrick Sudunande, Patrick Sudunande. All right, I also want to know what kind of different Patrick Sudu will you have if you are elected president? What kind of police chief are you looking for? Immigration chief. Look, there's money in the country there. But the system, because the system is so polluted, the system is so messed up. So what happens if I'm at police or foreign affairs or something, they create the system in such a hassle way that they have to go through me, in the system, to get something done. When a simple process should be put in place, all you need to do, when you need to renew your passport, for example, go to the place there. You don't need to get anybody dime. You want to do it, you do it at your own volition. Go there, get the form, pay the fees. But they will make the process so difficult. Pat George working with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, he in the system can easily get it, even if he has the money.
Yeah.
What kind of business is that?
And that is it.
How does government generate revenue?
But that is
the money that's supposed to go to government revenue, the $50, I end up spending $100, and then fast and don't go to government. And what you think? How you think the government? How government going to pay people? How government going to function? Where was salary and other miscellaneous to keep government functioning? They create a situation and people preside over those things and build that wall of corruption. And so it makes it very difficult. This is where we need leader, people who are going to be decisive, and it's not going to be based on friend. It's not going to be based on friendship.
But
when I'm supposed to pay insurance, when I'm supposed to renew my passport, let me go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, or maybe even if it needs to go to Planning and Finance, where I get my flight receipt. Let it go. It shouldn't be a hassle thing that I have to spend extra thing instead of the money going to government. It's going to 1 or 2%, and this is how the entire system looks like.
The system is rotten. Before and now, it's rotten. The system needs to be overhauled. You and myself here. How many times you went to give money to someone in the passport division of the United States to process your passport, and they give you instruction to buy a money order, put it and mail it. If you go to one office, the form that you fill the form out, you put it there. That's it. They tell you when you're going to receive.
You go to the office, only 1%. When that person gone, that person gone for the rest of the day. What kind of nonsense is that? Then institution is a bureau. You should have a deputy. You should, if you go out for law, whatever. Suppose you go there, you die. I mean, everything that comes to a momentary standstill until they can find a new person.
Take for example, traffic ticket. Yeah. Do I have to go see one policeman to pay my ticket? No. I go to the court hall, or I mail it. If I don't want to go to court, I mail it before the day of court. The receiver, right when I pay online, they send my receipt. That's it. If you want to go to court to contest it, it is your right. You can go to court. But you're not going to get nobody money in the court. If you rather pay, they say go down to that window, go and pay it there. The cashier is there. These are systems that will live here, will enjoy. Why can't we do the same thing?
There are other factors too that, even though it's not a good justification for a corruption, but to be honest, the police folks in the country there, I'm not sure. And I wanted to have the conversation with what his name, Moses Carter, and perhaps the police chief. From the surface, if you see the AFL people, they are well dressed. It reminds me of in the 80s. I mean, the real camouflage fatigue uniform, properly dressed. You don't even see them around. You don't even see them. Very suddenly, as you go around shuffling. But look at the police. The uniform. I'm not sure. Those days we used to have, I believe, Benson and Center Street. Was that the army or the police? They had a uniform. They had also in their uniform.
One guy is called GR.
Yeah.
He had a store. But
these folks, they love their jobs. Some of them been in the force for years, 100 decades, But you see them wearing this sort of t-shirt and faded pants and this for which our people too being very disrespectful to the law enforcer, which itself too is a wrong thing to do, because they look at them, okay, with the limited resources, yet then still some of them, they don't have it, but some of them will be in that sun all day, try to direct traffic. And you'll see drivers, you'll see even government officials, the keke, the motorbike, the pedestrians, insulting these people for whatever reason. I just don't get it.
It's the culture, because there had not been a strong disciplinary action against these people. So people are in the habit that I can just look at someone, just insult them and get away with it, and nothing, even law enforcement, and say anything to them, and it is my right. But if people,
Boulevard Junction, I saw the guy who he was, and I was driving and I pulled over, I just stopped, challenging to the extent he was literally fighting the policeman. I like, do you know what you're doing? Can you do this in Cote d'Ivoire around gendarme to go fight gendarme or police? You need to come to your senses here.
If we have a law that if you unlawfully attack a policeman and that man shoot you, and it is justifiable, nothing should come out of it. Because as in as much I am, I will not go and put my hand on a police officer.
One of the person that I really used to admire who restored his sanity within the police, and he was on an A.B. Kroma. When he was deputy for operation, A.B. Kroma, he was very forceful. I mean, he was very forceful. He makes sure he's surveillant. You need to respect your police. These people,
of course,
with the limit, you need to respect them. You call them, but then at the end of the day, you won't call them to come to your rescue.
Yeah. And so many things I say, the morale also, Mr. So, is not there. Because you see that uniform, if you went the way you dress, Mr. So, that would tell somebody, before I cost the police officer or even make the attempt to attack him, I can look at him up and down. But the man wearing a uniform, his shoe, he wearing the shoe laying one side, the uniform feel he can't, no badge, no accessory, nothing. The man look at me and said, but who the man? The man carry baton. He said, but who the man? So now the man take a baton. He said, but come on, man. But Mr. So, if any officer dress neatly and get out of his car and say, hello, you will look at that man up and down and say, yes, sir. But because these are the things that kill the morale of the institution. Your physical appearance should serve as deterrent to somebody that, hey, someone is in authority here. But all these things, the police is being depressed, denigrated. Find the way, even the way they dress. It gets so many people surveilling in mufti to just say, hey, who that man there? And we have to stop all these things. That's why we talk about logistics of the police. And the police should have the backing of the authority, the law, educate the public, and tell those officers, if you want to maintain your respect and dignity, do not engage the public for corruption. Don't ask the driver for father. Huh? If that make you find out if you're arresting and taking and let make sure he's prosecuted, it will send a message. I have seen some police officer in Monrovia. Somebody say, hey, that officer, please, don't go there with him. Because what they have also
a guy used to be I think across the bridge, Vartan there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean they have a lot of decent people.
Yeah,
more decent people than we even here. We just sort of run that judgment and put everybody in that basket of deplorable.
Yes, we are just taking the law into our hand. That, hey, and the government officials, they are all part of it.
Oh,
they are the number one violator of the laws. They don't respect the officer. Move from here. You know why I'm here? In where I live, one time a commissioner of Gwinnett was driving it and he was pulled over by a police officer.
It's sort of uncontrollable siren in the town. I want Cummings to tell me. I want Boycott to tell me they become president. All the admin, everybody will be carrying siren. Bing, 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 giving people a heart attack in the street.
Yeah. The police officer pulled that commissioner. He told him, say, oh, you know why? He said, sir, that's not what I stopped you for. You are under the influence of alcohol. And that commissioner, he was booked by the officer. He ended up resigning. But more recently, I don't know, you follow that story. In California, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi, husband was booked the other day, and he's slapping gay.
I mean, a couple of years ago, I'm my own city mayor here. The mayor, you know, the mayor of the city, the police is under the mayor's supervision.
Yeah.
He was pulled over. Police. Can you do that in Liberia today?
With Jefferson Coaching, they will beat you to death.
You can't do that.
They will beat you to death. Nancy Pelosi just last
all of these people who want to be the Joseph Boyka, the Ellis Kume, and all the other million people. This is the perfect time, perfect storm that we have now to ask them. If we say CDC government is bad, if we say everything about George Weah is bad, they need to start being, they need to start doing the extraordinary. Let us see the different side of them, their surroundings, things that they're going to be doing. Or would they be more than even the CDC?
But
If the
There's a
people that even around them, they don't have voice over them, what happens? The child not born here when a child is born.
But you hear Mr. Costa, Reverend Costa, that they will control Joseph Walker. That his own word, not me. So I tell you, if Joseph Walker became president, will he have control all these people? When the man is saying, we're going to run the show. So then what is the difference between they and Nathaniel McGill? Who do they accuse?
I mean, and I say for the most part, all of these things, bitterness, resentment, they want to be, it's like Black Dragon revenge the death of Bruce Lee. They want to be the Maggie. They want to be the Samuel Tuer. They want to be the Jefferson Koji. Obviously, that's bottom line, that's 8. Because if you love somebody, by this point in time, we need to start having a real-time conversation. If you talk about the government, I don't care. I don't want to know what kind of shoe he's wearing, what kind of suit. It's insignificant, immaterial. That's not what I want to hear. That's not what I want to hear. I want to hear about your educational plan. I want to hear about your agricultural, how much you're going to be investing into education, into agriculture, infrastructure. Those are things I want to hear. I'm not a fan of a big government. How are you going to downsize government? When you're having a press conference, 555 people with red barrels, sweating, jumping, chanting, and all of that, you think they're doing it for nothing? Of course. They want to go to Lpr-Tv. They want to go to RRA so that when people come, they will get their stuff and all of those places. They want to go to LRA. They want to be custom agent to go harass people and take money from people. Is that the same people? Are you bringing all of these people in government, or what is it as a strategy that you have? Which ministry they're doing similar thing that you're going to condense to strain government so that government have less, because some of the ministry are doing the same old thing. They're doing is no different. So which ministry do you intend to condense if you are elected to downsize government?
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Some money. And
that's why someone was talking about. These people must come out and people must ask them these real questions.
Let me put a number on here. Eduardo, I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you with this whole CPP.
Yes. And here's the thing here.
Jackson's letter. What's up, my son?
You know, I have seen Mr. Cummings taking some action against people who are very close to him in proximity. When Alpha Toba did that stuff, he let Alpha Toba go. Joseph Boakai, when Mo Ali had that issue with that girl, nobody from that camp ever spoke.
Mo Ali, and I said this here before, people were upset. Mo Ali should not even be within the executive.
No, Mo Ali
even be the face. He does not have the good moral standing for anybody to do anything.
Yeah,
that's
nobody ever spoke on behalf of the girl. His best friend Henry Costa called like a scream prostitute. Nobody said anything. Joseph Boakai did not question Henry Costa to say, "Hey, you don't speak like that about women." But when Alpha Toba wrote a book, the Henry Costa,
because Joy, we are left there in the course, so
yes,
they were accommodated. They won't be talking all of these things that we are hearing today. So it's just crazy. I don't like that. That's just been very disingenuous.
Yes, Henry Costa called that young lady a prostitute on her platform. Nobody from the United Party, nobody from the LP said anything to him. But at least when I issued him on Mr. Cummings, he asked Alpha Toba to leave. You can see something different about him. He may not be the, but you can see if something happening in close proximity, look at the step he's taking. But with Mr. Costa, the Boakai, the Europe, no.
I don't want to blame Costa. I don't want to be a president. I think if you want to take it on Boakai and take it on by
but Mr.
something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yes, the thing. He don't want to be a president, but he want to be in the close proximity of the president. They will be making the decision the man telling you. And if he cannot look at his best friend to say, no, this thing he did was wrong, then that is to tell you the direction of which the country will be going. If these people are, because they will be to see you around Joseph Boakai, Mo Ali, Henry Costa, George Lobo, Anthony Kesselly, Benina Europe.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They will be running the show. And that will tell you where the country, the direction in which the country will be going. This is it. When the friend does something wrong, they don't say anything because what? It's in the orbit. And if this is the kind of Liberia we want, then of course, we won't just leave George here then. Yeah, I said the other day, here on Spoon Network. None of the panelists could ask any question. Nobody. Oh, your gender soul. Oh, waiting to see, let somebody come out to say anything. Let some friend come out to say anything about the girl. Is that the question? Is that how you people behave? This man, there was a newspaper. One of the reputable newspaper in Liberia.
The politics of Liberia is always selective. As long as you're not part of a political group, anything happen to you, anything happen, nobody going to talk for you.
Nobody.
Once there's no branding, nobody going to talk for you. That's the kind of society that we have.
It's wrong.
Everybody for themselves, God for all.
Yes. They never asked the man one question. Then he talk about, personal relationship. No, you're a minister. There's an allegation leveled against you. It's no more personal. It's in the public domain. Explain what you mean by personal relationship. Nobody asking. Where were you that night? Nobody asking. All the dream, pepping him, we're waiting to see. This network cannot condone so. But what's the question you ask this man? Because he in your circle, so you will not ask him. If that other people, then you're coming to bash them, to push them. And those people, like Ben Sandy, Tumanin George, and Kev Hassan, people, they were there, they didn't ask the man one question from saying when I was following them. And I look, I say, you see, this is why the double standard come about. Because they made it from your circle, so you can't ask him about allegations someone made against him, but all you're saying, we're waiting to see. You are the bigger network in Liberia.
They don't want to dwell on circumstantial evidence, right?
Yeah, that's what they don't want to do. But what is the question you're asking this man? What is the real question you're asking this man? Say he on your platform. He said the relationship is personal. What's the next question?
Okay, let me see here. Let's go to I believe New Jersey area here. Okay, let's have this caller here. Caller 609 number 0311. Good evening. What's your name and where you calling from?
Miata Stella Harry.
Miata, my good old friend. Okay, now I know that woman because the people get plenty of name there. They take baby name, they take all kinds of name. They put it so by saying woman name, we can't conclude a woman there or it can be a woman. Good evening, welcome.
I call you because I want you to take your comment back that you made about me and posting what I said.
I'll take it back. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Now,
you know, they get a saying that say in Liberia, I'm a man. When I'm a man, call you. When they say I bring a man, just say yes. And when you say no, now then you're trying to come and claim on your back. Go ahead, man.
So I've been following you guys for a while, but I just listened. And my question was a valid question when you made that statement. Now, I'm in agreement with what you guys are talking about. The fact of the matter is that we have to put right where right is and wrong where wrong is. You know, we cannot keep continuously pushing things under the rug.
Right.
What is going on in Liberia right now is not new. It's a result of the systemic bad practices over generations that has come, and the war expanded it such that it's worse than it ever was. And technology has made us much more aware of what it is.
Yeah, those hidden facts.
During our time, a child could be seen and not heard, right? And these things that went on, they say it takes the past along with the present to mold the future.
Right.
So if we're going to get to the future, we have to go look at the past. And when you look at the past from the history, the people that our brothers and sisters that came back to Africa, to Liberia particularly, was sent because someone was afraid of them following the Civil War. When they came, and those people that got on those ships, they went through the churches to sign up to come. Those people were the ones who worked in the houses. They were the chauffeurs. They were the butlers. They were the ones who carried the gossip between the political opponents. To which party, which was the party back then that evolved to become what is the Republican Party today. So when they migrated to Liberia, what did they bring? What did they form? Exactly what it was. What did they do to our brothers and sisters? They hid things in the book so that they couldn't read, therefore they were not knowledgeable. If you fast forward our history for 200 years,
right,
it was one party that ruled until 1980. During that ruling, what happens? People were not heard nor seen, right? When you look at it, I don't like to go about the Congo country business because to me that's rubbish.
Right.
Okay? But the thing here is that how do we perceive those things? How do we understand and comprehend those things? We couldn't because we were suppressed and oppressed. And the way we got away with our oppression and suppression, which we thought was good, was by drinking, smoking, suppressing it through the alcohol. And when you look at it genetically and mentally, alcohol is a suppressant and a depressant. So all of those factors, we take them into consideration and bring it forward to the war, 2 decades. This is not a small joke. You have 2 decades of war where people knew absolutely nothing. So all the things that we want fixed, that we think should be, could be, would be, how can it be when people spent 2 decades in war and did not know anything?
Oh man, what a good conversation. Hopefully you can call back. I don't know why the phone went off. Yeah, let me go to Pa George, and when she comes back, Pa George. Yeah, she asked me to take it back, and I take it back because it deserves to be taken back. Sometimes people test people, but people come with all sort of fictitious name to distract, and so sometimes you got to shake that bush, or just deliberately throw, like you don't aim to kill, but you can just fire around the terrain, then they come out of the bush. But she's driving a valid point.
Yes, she's driving a valid point. But the only thing I can say is a little bit is to say this. Look, we have seen all these mistakes that were made in the past.
There was still those mistakes were still happening.
Yeah, but what is it? What are we taking from there? What's the lesson to change what we experienced or what we saw? What is guiding us? We say everything was wrong. We can lay out flat. This was wrong. This was wrong. They were treating us like this. Yes, but we now, what are we doing to change the thinking, the method, the way of the people? What are we doing? We are doing the same thing. Corruption. We spoke about corruption. We are speaking about corruption, but it's still persistent, even more than before.
I don't know.
And we know that all these things have to harm us. But we are here now. What are we doing to change it? If that's something that you don't know.
But the thing about corruption, not just only in government, right? Sometimes we just focus on government because that's the big part.
The fabric, corruption is in the fabric of the society. Every sector of Liberia, everybody, almost 99.9% of people in Liberia are corrupt, directly or indirectly. We are corrupt. So, but what are we doing? We know that this thing has been destroying us. What are we doing? We identify the problems. What is the solution? Why we continue to do the same thing and expect different results? No. It will not happen. We accuse people of building BB houses by the time they got into government jobs. Today, what is happening? People are displacing their mansions. When you ask,
all the people are screaming, yelling now. You know, it's you know, and government. I don't know. People should not be adapted. You kind of have that sort of be. Oh, we experiment like that's not a testing ground. Government is not a test. It's a serious. All these people that are yelling, screaming here. If you put them there tomorrow, they will do triple than what is happening now. I'm telling you. And they will give justification of their action.
Yeah. They will say the past, the people did it in the past.
They put the way you want to.
And that was what I was saying. We know this thing has been destroying the fabric of the society. So why would we get there? And by the way, Liberia, Africa as a whole, people take government job as place to get rich. So not in business, not in farming. No, the government job is where people think that you can get rich quicker. That is in Africa, and Liberia is not an exception. Because when the man become minister, the next two months he got a horse.
I don't know whose number is. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So this is the thing. She mentioned a political party. No, political party. Yeah, we had a two-way party up to 1979. When the father, according to the father, of modern Liberia democracy, which was led by G. Backup Matthew, they forced the two-way party to register a political party. 1979. So that's why I told people. I said there are two types of what you call, how they call them, two types of group in Liberia. These people they call pro what? How you call them? G. Backup Matthew, the group was different. The Amos Hoyle group were different, with two different competing ideas, progressive. They
were to have Councillor Tiawan Gongwe. He's one of the progressive. The progressive is divided.
That progressive, Tiawan Gongwe, Arada Chokba, Blamba Nursing,
Dusty Wodokoli, Henry
Famula,
Marcus Dan.
No, not Marcus Dan. They are the progressive from Sawyer side.
Yeah, okay, that's Sawyer.
Yeah, the Backup Matthew progressive were Deacon Carter,
yeah.
Adio Soare, Michael George, Nathaniel Bear, Marcus Dan. Those were the progressive from the Backup Matthew wing. So there are two progressive. When you talk about in Liberia, I said, all people, they were two progressive, and they all had different agenda. The Sawyer group, the people that they were like referring to as socialists. Because they were like people who believe in the capitalist system. But people don't distinguish all people. They just tell people, oh, progressive. No. And I said, if you want to give credit, the credit belongs to G. Bacchus Matthew and Pop. They were the one that forced the Liberian government to register the
I can't wait to have Chris Dubenya is one of the chief architects of the DAL now, Democratic Alliance. They are the ordered. They try to rebrand themselves. Why the progressive? Since it's all things considered before we go here, the progressive. Do they want to introduce themselves? The progressive now is tying with the liberal. I don't know, liberal or moderate, because you have Alari Toba. Professor Toba is he's in the column of Joseph Boyka. So what's the progressive wing? Is that a Moja? That another liberal? That's a Moja group or what?
Yeah, that's a Moja group.
Okay, Franklin visit Councillor Tiawan Gonglo is the best right now. Let's give him a try. My man, they try, will not try. As a librarian, none of other colleagues said or research grant for all to be trying thing there. When we'll bring somebody else to try there.
I'm just saying, progressive. We should try to distinguish these progressive. There were two groups of progressive. The Sawyer wing, the Formula wing was different. The Backup Matthew wing was different. Those were two groups competing for the same, but with different agenda. And people must understand that. But I would say
Moja came in with two people there, some sort of social, the socialism insider into they couldn't get. I mean, the professor they were holding together, but the deeper inside, where you go in depth of the whatever coalitions or whatever alliance or whatever thing that it was just on the surface, but the deeper part there was a big divide, and that's one of the reasons they could not even get state power.
Yeah.
So no man in there.
Yeah, and the problem was that when I talk about that people that thinking when they start when the tires.
Yeah, want to be injected themselves. They are there for the masses, and they will be there to their end.
Yes, so that was the group. The backup mafia group was a progressive from a different perspective.
And that progressive wing was brought into government when Samuel Doe took power.
Yes, they came and took the government head on. Talk about some of them they were intellectual on campus, but the backup mafia group came and directly approached the government head on and said, "Hey, this system got to go." And that's why I say, even though I disagree sometimes with backup mafia strategy, but I say modern Liberia is Mr. G.
Politics in the country has evolved significantly. The emergence or the rebranding of these people, these progressive who try to gain public attention in the politics of the country here. Do you think Liberian people are going to pay heed to them?
No. Yes, some people pay heed to them, but some people no. Because these people have been around.
They are educated guys. And people say, well, education and the bopo, you brought all the trouble where we are in today. How can they to rebrand themselves? A good chunk of the progressive aligned with Joseph Boyka.
Yes. And let me say this.
Who is Joseph Boyka? Which wing does he belong to?
Well, you got to ask Joseph Boyka, let him define himself. I don't want to define him.
Maybe something to kind of liberal kind here. He's the Boyka man. We were asking that. I don't even know.
Yeah. And let me say this. I know people who say these things. I disagree with them. Because with our education, your surrounding would not be improved.
Hey, Gerd, good morning from inside Liberia. Hopefully you're doing
Let me say this. I strongly disagree with people talking about education will cause the trouble. No. With our education, you cannot improve your life. That's the only tools you have that will change your life. Because if you say you have a problem with it, then why are you sending your children to school?
Right.
So people have made construed that people who are highly educated, they have not done anything good for Liberia, but I strongly disagree with those people.
We'll soon be wrapping up. I'm hearing the principal deputy to His Excellency Dr. George Weah, Fallow McGee, is he going your county to contest?
You know, Mr. So, this is some of the things I speak of. Nathaniel McGee, them, they are taking the people to be very stupid what the people say about them.
What do you mean? Suppose he get his wealth in Bond County and he's no.
Like free country. I can leave from here. I go and stay in Grand Gita. I'm a citizen of Grand Gita.
So then why were you, suppose you decide to run for Grand Gita, where I come out and tell you, say, Amos Joy taking out to be stupid person?
No. Yes, my point here. If a son from Grand Gita is working in the government, is number 2 person, and I don't respect that son from Grand Gita, but I said I'm going to make Grand Gita my resident, and I'm going to do everything for them. If you are so good, you love us. Your son, I don't respect your son. I don't respect your daughter. What the people Grand Gita will take me to be. And that's the analysis I'm making. Nathaniel, they don't respect Joy Howard Taylor. And Joy Howard Taylor is from Bond County. She's the second in the government. They don't respect her. But because of the corrupt system, this other guy they call Mervyn Cole, this representative, this man who Joy Howard Taylor made, worked in her office. She made a man a representative, wanted to make him senator. This man get out and insult this woman. And this man today is in Nathaniel McGee pocket. He carried him to Bond County to introduce him. Can you imagine?
Will you campaign for him?
For who? For Nathaniel Mange? He can pave the entire Bon County. Answer Bangao. He can pave the entire Bon County. I will be one of the who are camping, and I will tell the Pele people, if you're stupid,
you can speak your dialect.
Eh?
You can speak your dialect.
Oh, yeah, I can find my way. Yeah.
You can. Why you can find your way where?
Yes, the thing. I understand everybody because Mr. Told every language is how frequently you speak it. You just said you can use some parable you know in Crown. Don't come ask me that question. You can try, but you know some parable in Crown.
No, we're talking about Pele right now. So why you want?
Yeah, what I'm telling you, I can speak Pele well, but I hear Pele well. I can speak, but there are some words I will find it difficult to pronounce until I say I speak all the while. But any part of Pele country I go,
well, I think Gene Davis disagree with you. Gene Davis say he will win. He will win Bon County. So that when suppose you win, you will not go to Bon County.
That my home. I will go there. I mean, what I've said, like press for anybody.
Hey, Monique Kishen trying to start trouble. Monique Kishen say you can't speak your dialect. You see, Monique Kishen, he full of trouble.
Monique Kishen, what can he speak Roro? Can you speak Roro?
Ooh, oh Lord.
Monique don't go there with me. So here's the thing. At least I can speak the bass. I can speak
the man. I think we need to find a time that some part will have. I think you're going to sleep sound tonight. Your guy is vindicated. Yeah, so I know you're going to sleep sound tonight. We want to know what next now in his political journey. Will Black Dragon revenge the death of Bruce Lee, or will he try to change the narrative? That's what is important, and that's what I can't wait. Confirmation. We have been told he will be appearing here very, very soon. That I know, and we're going to have. There are a lot of things he's talking, and we need to get an in-depth of how those things are going to be implemented. That's my concern. Yeah. You know, I'm not people talking roll.
No.
You were vice president 12 years. You don't say roll. I just get dishonesty.
No.
It's just not. It's inarguable.
No, Mr. Todd, here's the problem. It's in this thing happens.
It's not Mike Pence here. Disagree with Donald Trump to turn the vote, because if Mike Pence has only said yes, maybe who knows? They're going to be like this country are going to be in chaos. But he stood his ground, defending the Constitution, not his loyalty to the. You can't tell me Helen Johnson Sally pack you in the garage. He pack you there. You are not amputated. Why you didn't get a heck out of that garage and tell us why you were changing all of that? That's not kind of nonsense people are going to listen to.
We are packed with receiving $2.7 million.
I'm not against him, but I just don't like people to be kind of very dishonest. He needs to start telling us now what were some of the things that he advised Helen Johnson Sirleaf, and Helen Johnson Sirleaf did not listen to him. We need to know. There must be a memoir by this time. They want to come get all in a surprise package here.
Yeah, and here's the thing. The policy.
Let's go. Oh, can't go. I mean, Unity Party is a big party. They should be having like a, and this is why our political institution can't grow. They do not have the guts. They do not want to grow new generation. They do not want to see new faces coming in. And it has been there from time to time. NDPL. Nobody, when Samuel Doe was president, I dare you to come to say you want to be a rising star for NDPL. Charles Taylor, it's the same old thing. Helen Johnson Sirleaf did not, when it came to the United States and said she needed generational change, she never tell us exactly what sort of generational change, what I were coming from in the Unity Party. This is what the party needs to. You can see here the Democrat, the Republican, either from the representative, the Senate, or the governors, or mayors, or even ordinary people. You will begin to see sound that maybe in the next 2, 3, 4 years, this person potentially will be the future of the Democrat. Well, this person will be the face of the Republican. But we don't see that. We don't create competition. Even if anybody tries to do that, another group of people who think they are so loyal to that person They will go running telling the president they may want either want to overthrow you. But it's a long, in everything, there's a short-term and long-term goal to sustain the party. Everything about CDC maybe is President Joy, we are doing it. Everything about ANC is only maybe Alexander Cummings doing it. You know, so when you beat the man off like so much like that, when he's off stage, the party died. This is why we're having everyday rebirth. New parties are born in the country.
Yeah, Mr. So let me say this.
I was soon for my own party. You join my party?
I gotta see your.
I'll take Money Kitchen. Money Kitchen will be my Money Kitchen, Dwalo. They will join my party.
I gotta see your money for your platform. But here's the thing here.
What kind of platform? You're gonna have a platform that when it comes to me, you want platform?
But here's the thing. This is serious. These are some of the questions we want to ask all the people running including Ambassador Bucket. 62% concession was signed on his watch as VP. And I want to know the George Lobo because of those who surrounding him. Those concessions were being signed. What role did he play? He didn't see any of those things. And if he saw it,
that's true. They don't have plan. They just get out one B. They can't anything concrete. They can't bring anything concrete on the table. They will just speak in the air there and create like an open bass and the thing that everybody want to buy into it. I will do that. By you saying you're going to do it, does that mean you're going to do it? Nothing.
And they tell us that
but our people, they are the chief facilitator of this sort of nonsense that is ongoing in the country. Then when they finish the 10 round, then they want can't cry. What are you crying for? You may he who rides the back of the alligator enters the belly of the alligator.
And here's the thing here. The young people, these guys who want to be in government, in the political parties, for some reason, they are not themselves. They want to have many old people.
Oh man, my head hurting, Pa Josh. We gotta go. There are lots. Yeah, I mean, this is insane. This is insane.
Who is the chairman of the Liberty Party? Who do you see active chairman? Who do you see?
You see, that's why you see the chaos in Liberty Party today, because
who do you see?
They did not prepare the future of the party.
Yes.
He and only he. They take it on Banana Ure. He and only family few people. They are the. I mean, what kind of country is that?
And here's the thing, Mr. Soul. The power. How can you take the power and invest the entire power in one person? The Liberty Party considered that the chairman was the sole one to make every political policy.
The soul
now,
party, and then he want to break Belete stupid. Belete will fire back.
And when they came to
money for the man, you waste your campaign, you finish, then you say the men are crook. Why you talk about money?
Yeah. Then when they're trying to change the government, no, the executive committee should be empowered. The chairman or the political, the inconsistent with the executive committee, they said there's a problem. How are you this modern day? This is not a socialist country, a communist country. That one guy.
Something told with Kia Joseph Boyka to be president for 2 terms, not the Republic of Liberia. So he's a complete disgrace. Complete disgrace. He doesn't even know what he wants. One day he will Boyka, another day with Tuawan Gonglo, another day he will this president. Nobody knows. He's just flipping and flapping. What about George? Gonglo, Councilor Tuawan Gonglo, to our man, what his name? Let me see his name here. He said Tuawan Gonglo. Victor, no, that I want to make sure of his name. What a gentleman, Franklin. Yeah, Franklin said Councilor Tuawan Gonglo is our best right now. Hopefully, make time come here so you will tell us how we all must be held accountable of our comments, our tweet, our support to these people. You know, we appreciate it if you can come out here and tell us what makes him the best. We'll do it, but we're going to have in here on the 15th, Councilor Tuawan Gonglo, a presidential hopeful. Republic of Liberia will be here with us live on Lpr, and that will be relayed on our sister network, Lpr-Tv. We are working on the modalities. Sooner or later, we will start coordinating. Amos George, You might have a minister of state want to be senator in your county. Then go contest against him. Go wrong, my man. Nothing is stopping you.
I don't have the resources to go.
Okay, but then you don't have resources. Don't talk politics. That's why I don't like the broker. Then that want to be president in our country. Broker, when you give them state power, it's a recipe to chaos.
But you know what?
You go put in there. Wait, they have to fund for themselves before they fund for the country. If you broke, don't jump politics. Don't contest because you don't get nothing. People are looking for money. Billions of dollars is spent in this country here. Just naked campaign alone.
Oh, I know.
Money, they want to be senator, they want to be a Alfonso Toy, and all kinds of stuff. You don't get money, don't run. Then stand.
No,
George, I want to thank you so much.
All I'm saying, the people are born-candid, but be very careful.
Oh, my man.
Who they want to put in state power. Nathaniel Mange, when last he started going to born-candid, when last he knew born-candid. The last thing when you say probably 225 million, I want to give the market anything to make market so they can make the market. But the question I asked them, or asking the people of born-candid tonight, what have changed the 4+ years of George Weah in your country, where the second person in power come from? When they want to say on national TV, when ministers of the George Weah government insulting her, and the time they're going to come to her rescue.
But she went in her own backyard and also humiliated her people.
Yeah, they said no bad.
No Bible for a child.
I frown on Joe Howard Taylor.
Yeah.
I frown on Joe Howard Taylor for somebody to say in Poncan and what she did there. But that doesn't give the government to say that people from that government might be insulting her. Then go back to her country to say, oh, I want to be part of the people. If you cannot respect my aunt, my sister, or any of my relative from the country, but when you went part of that, when you're coming back, I will not give it to you. I would prefer telling my sister you did wrong and you should not do it again. It's than me giving you power. The 4-year plus going, what can the people show the way their government has done for them? That the time I go there today trying to say, and you see that he built this place up. Come on.
That one there. The thing they gave you, we don't know about it. When Frombo say when a boss.
Yeah, it will come out.
Who is ready?
You the son of Bapolo. They need you. They need you. Go there and be representative. Go and be senator. You just built a modern hospital in Bapolo. So why you want to come to Bon-County? What a modern hospital? What a school? What a line of the people of Bon-County had changed.
He get a dual citizenship. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said. I can go to that. I say I want to go stay in Bapolo. That's my business. It's up to me.
Will you frown on me when I say I want to be representative of district number 3 in Bon-County? You say no.
Oh no, I will not frown on you.
So why are you frowning on my gay?
One time I entered the bully. One time he honestly was asking me, and he told me, he told us, maybe he came from, he said, look, most of my family are in San Diego district, where the vice president come from, and that area I come from. Oh. And I was surprised. He said, yeah. He said, I got my family all living in that area, ground people.
All right.
So, like, so everyone will move, we can stay there, but it's what you do to the people is what you will depend on to say, I want to be this. And that's why Mr. Mange, he can pay the whole Bon-County. Bravo.
Okay. All right. That's Amos George is a senior political analyst of the Liberia Public Radio. He's based in Atlanta, Georgia, from the far end there. Thank you so much for your expertise. And by God's willing, same time, same station, we'll be here on Sunday with more news, information, and entertainment. Our man Franklin said, Councillor Twawan Gonglo is the best guy. Franklin, let us know and can tell us how you arrived at this point and tell us some of the things that we do not know. But on the 15th, we're going to be hosting Councillor. We'll come up with the time. We're going to be speaking with the support group here. Alan, that will be in Minnesota. He's going to be going to Minnesota. They got all around, man. They're looking for money. Oh, yeah. Like, bro, you want contest, you got to get money. You don't get money, do your own will go. Yes, your mind and go. Yeah, Papa for you. When the LeBron Messi for you, then they ready to tell you upside down.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, my man. Amos George, thank you so much. And to our many viewers and listeners, your comment your tweet, Miara, I think we made a good friend. We set out the doors. There are some people what will use fictitious name and just kind of create a sort of attraction. So sometimes you got to fire back and kind of morning kitchen. Hey, Gertrude, good morning from inside Liberia. Thank you for tuning in, joining us, and all our viewers and listeners. Your comment, your tweet, we usually go back and listen, watch, or read your comments. You are at liberty to agree, to disagree with us. Sometimes, we all human being, things happen here and there, but we don't take people. As long as you're here, civility is maintained on this network. You are at liberty to express your view and opinion. Until then, folks, have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.
We are not a woman. Don't let it bother you. I say let it go. If someone overlook you because you live.
You think Alice Cummings will let it go? Okay, Amos Joyce is gone already. I don't know, maybe that money Kishin, I need to ask that question, whether maybe Cummings will let it go and reconsider to get back into, I don't know, CPP or WPP is about the deal with UPP. Yeah, I know what they will put together. Who knows?
You will not marry, you will not bear your own children. If you say your knee is borrow. Sunday go to meeting, mommy can say no, Johnny ginger. Just let it go. Jesus will change your story. Let it go.
So I was just asking you, writer, right? So if you let it go, so give people second, third, fourth chances. Your man will let it go.
Oh yeah, I mean, I told you, Mr. Cummings will let it go.
Hold on one second. Let me just say it again.
Yeah, Mr. Cummings will let it go. I mean, the thing here is,
will you encourage him to let it go?
Oh yeah. I mean, that making a big ball.
But that was when you speaking initially. You said Boyka, Benana, and all of those people there.
It left with Boyka.
Invite them for dinner at his residence.
If you want, you can do it. But listen, it left with Boyka, Benina Yuri, and Yobli Kanga.
Okay.
All Mr. Cummings said he wanted was the truth. And he said it before. He said if Benina Yuri and all they can come and take the case from court, we'll move on. So
when are you taking a membership with ANC? When are you taking a membership with ANC?
Mr. So I don't know. Is that because someone don't take the ANC thing and put it on our head? Or is it because that someone speaks to try, not to try, but to balance the story? So I don't to go and say, okay, I want membership for ANC. No. I love ANC. I'm a member of ANC. What is happening is that we have to try to balance what is happening in our country and what is good. That is going to be objective.
Do you strongly believe he's the best guy for the country now? Cummings?
I believe Mr. Cummings, if he's not the best, he will change, he will put a Liberia on a better trajectory.
All right, let's leave it there. We are working our modality to having here. Thank you. We can already get this conversation here. Thank you so much.
You know the word best, the word best. It should be relative because people always say the best. But what is the best you're talking about? What is your definition of best? Will he do everything to please everybody?
Kishin. I think that you and Kishin are friend. Kishin say Cummings would never trust JMB. We already know.
Man, look. This is why I tell people it is not about Cummings. It is not about JMB. It is about the Liberian people. What happened between Cummings and JMB? It is a lesson from Mr. Cummings. It teaches you a movement.
So honestly, what has happened to the decision today? If the ANC folks can just chill out and just bury that and put out that sort of garment of maturity and begin to focus and start talking on those issues, probably it could pay it off. Because
let me tell you,
because you do that and it's just going to be the same very distraction we are talking about. Remember, we got to go. It's
let me tell you, Captain. I think what we should be talking about now is how for Mr. Cummings to formulate a policy. Bashing Joseph Boakai now, that's not an issue. Benin Nigeria is not an issue. The bigger picture is the Liberian people.
Let him just play out by himself. Let
people know that
everybody a jawbone exercise. Let people just
everybody can read between the lines. Everybody can read between the lines. It's not to make this man marketable to people. Hey, you see this man? We told you he's this person. You see what is happening. This is what he's going to do. This is how he will run this country. He believes in this. That's why it's we talk about Joseph Boakai. What happened in the court? We all need from day one was bookers. And today, just play up. Let the Liberian people judge.
They need to focus.
Yes.
And have their strategy now as to how they can convene the electorates and make their case.
So,
because
I will urge now Mr. Cummings to come up and tell the Liberian people how he's going to change this country around. Lay up his plan out there. So when people speak it, they can make reference to this. He said that he's going to build school. This is how he's going to generate money. This is where the money will come from. This is what he will do to generate revenue. He said that he will improve the healthcare system. This is how he's going to do it. Not just this thing is not a put it beyond. When I mean put it beyond, the kids have already been set up. Everybody knows that who is a liar. Everybody knows who is a conspirator. What needed now is to foster people to move forward.
Who are the conspirators?
Oh, yeah. But now you're collaborating with the GOL.
My goodness, you have been you buy again move on here.
Oh no, I know the format too good. I close to there.
Wow.
Very close.
I don't want to know your outside. All right, my man. Thank you so much, and we'll be back here tomorrow. Is not a good day, so we'll be back here obviously on Sunday, and see what happens. And there are other few big names trying to come forward, but we're working out things behind the scene, and then we're going to get it out there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. So, and thank you to all our listeners.
All right. Okay, so folks, we want to thank you so much. Sometimes we just have to add some little bit fun into this here, but the issue is it's a serious problem in Liberia. But we are also a great problem to all of this thing here, because we can't tell people that we support, we can't look in their faces and be honest and tell them, say, hey, even though I strongly believe in you, you can do it, but this one here, you're missing it. Let's do it this way, do it this way. No. If we can just do that for the good of the country, I think we can have a better Liberia. It is time that we hold them accountable of these political parties, organizations, institutions. If they can exhibit us a good sense of leadership, good managerial skill in these little groups that they are managing, how can that transcend into government? How can you manage a country, for God's sake? If your surrounding cannot be contained, how can we trust you with the economy of the country, where the president makes some decisive decision, death or life decision? If you can manage your party, if you can manage your surroundings, if you cannot take decision at some point in time for your people to disagree with you, to say, yes, even though you support me, you disagree with me, but this decision is good for the country, and I strongly have the conviction I'm doing the right thing. That should not stop your support. If you can't do that, if you want to appease your people all of the times, anything you say that, hey, go left, then you go, like you're some sort of robot, then I'm afraid we can't trust you with our country. Because you could potentially put our country on Craigslist or eBay when we are sleeping, and by the time we wake up, we'll see different people in our country, and we're all going to be in slavery. We need decisive, we need people who will say no at times when it is necessary to say no. We need people who will say yes when the situation demands it. People don't have to like you as a leader, but your consistency, your decision, your thought process, that you can even look at someone. We want Alexander Cummings to look at Money Kishen, and Kishen to look at Cummings to say, yeah, even though I support you, I don't agree with you on this one here, and I want you to do this. That's how you build a system. That's how you build an institution. But everything, they do it like a sort of little clay, pedal it here and there, because they don't want a man to feedback. I'm not saying you should be rude, you should be insultive, cussing and all of that, and you say you want to lead. It doesn't work to emulate you because you don't have a good standing. Nobody going to do business with you. You think Uncle Sam is stupid? They see you behaving the way you're behaving like a little child. You think they're going to turn around to do business with you? They can never trust you because you're going to dumb them, because you have dumbed other people before. They just suck that little information, whatever thing they're going to do to get it out with you, and that's it. They close you up. You're done. You leave your own with God. Laboratory is not an experimental ground. There's not some sort of research or laboratory there that people just throw people there. Okay, let's try it 1 year. Whole year we'll be trying people? No. It's time to find those that are fit to do the job, those that are competent, those that can make decisions of their own, even though they're going to have advisors. But at the end of the day, you as the chief executive, you as a general overseer, the bus stop is with you. You have to look in the eyes of your people when it's time to say no, say no. If you don't want to vote for me, you want to walk away, so be it. This idea is not good for the country. Until we can have those sort of people who have that guts, that courage to stand up for what is right, Labrador will be best. Labrador will be good. But from what we see now, most of them, all of them in the same wagon. They won't be the Mangi. They won't be the Koji. They won't be the benevolence detector, Tuwe. And that's why they're doing what they are doing. Until they try to tell us things that are concrete and how those things are going to be implemented, then we'll begin to see the different side of them. Until that is done, for me, that apprehension will be there to question their authenticity. 4 of them put together, they say they want state power. And that's what some of us said from the beginning. It was a stupid ploy. It was a stupid political ploy. They didn't know what they were doing. The victim, now the whole thing, now the victim becomes the victor, and the victor now becomes the victim. What was the purpose of that? What are you telling me? And why can't you tell the seditions? Why can't you tell the CDC government? You put together, you say I wanted something, and then all of you put together and decide to form this sort of conspiracy, subliminal lies, falsehoods, and you buy a greater segment of the same very opposition, buy into it. You destroy yourself, you lie, you say that CDC, this person, that person. It's because of greed. You're greedy. Everybody want to be. They want to be the cockroach until they go into the barrel, then they know they suck the oil. That's what cockroach does. You leave the dish in the kitchen, you go to EE, it will turn around, count down, and find the oil barrel and go into it. And the next day, then you see the legs up like this. That's why you people did. You're collecting money all over the place here. Lack of accountability. You've never reported to anybody when they ask and say, oh, you're not paid. So when you take the country, that's how you're going to treat the country. People who doesn't support us, people who doesn't agree with your idea, that segment will be alienated. They will not be seen. They will not be treated as Liberian. GoFundMe, Cash App me, Zelle me, all sort of stuff. No accountability. Yeah, some of your money come from Costa. You don't work for it. If you're working for it, like people who working like jackass, you're not going to do that. Then you say when people use you, then they come to give just the cost you're over it. Then you help and give justifications of the filth and ugly and bad deeds. And then they say they want to leave. Leave who? Can't even manage their own perimeter in the kitchen, and they say they want to manage the country. I'll go find a place to sit down, man. You're not ready when you grow as a mature people and you're not wearing diaper. Politicians that wear diaper does not, we can't trust them with our country. Until you start talking things that are mature and start making sense and you know, having mature conversation, not off and on like some sort of or Simon people or throwing unnecessary tantrum because you want to get attention. No. You tend to lead country, that's small thing. You can be a child. It's wisdom. It's knowledge. Because when you become a leader, or when you are closer to a leader, you're almost at the head of the table. You're going to be having conversation with diplomat, war leaders. I'm going to go in there, I'm going to send some stupid person there in conference hall for no reason. Somebody says something you disagree with, and you throw your hair on the table, then the people's glasses breaking and all of that. We don't want to have people that are closer to our president. Who's going to be a president? We need mature, stable people. I don't care if people disagree with them, they will get a glass of water and taking that deep breath and calm themselves down. Those are the kind of people who want to run our president, because the surrounding is the one sometimes becomes problem. Because the leader is unable to get certain things done. A lot of things going in the ears. Gentlemen, have a pleasant night. Is taking it unprecedented turn and is going to get ugly comes the 2023 presidential elections. There were four major political parties came together under the banner of collaboration. Political pundits and others sees this as that it wouldn't have survived. Knowing the history of the collaborations in past years within the Liberian politics, it was just very difficult for one to grab it, to make sense out of it, that these things will have reached this far. Here we come, not even in the middle of the process, the whole thing is torn apart. This is a crazy scenario that have let the electorates down, because these collaboration parties were seen as alternative to the CDC. Here we are, is falling apart. One of the collaborators is now being allegedly accused as criminal or someone who. I just